to put you on the spot and call you out here hello, if you don't mind. My name is Gretchen. I am the legislative liaison for Iowa Association of the Deaf, and we are pleased to have you here. We would like to have you introduce yourself, who you are, and what area you represent.
Thank you. First of all, my name is Eddie Andrews, and I represent Johnston, Urbandale, part of Ankeny, and Saylorville and Crocker area. So northern Polk County, part of northern Polk County. And I am very pleased to have you guys here today. And I have a couple of friends here who I know. And we were pleased to try to do a little bit more funding this year. We can always do better and do more, but we're certainly glad that we were able to make some progress this year.
Yes, we've got to put you to work this morning. So we would like to get to know a little bit more about who you are. Maybe just very briefly touch on what is your favorite activity to do during the summer?
So,
now I know your legislative work is continuous year-round, but when you have some free time, what do you like to do during the summer?
Very good question. You're right. We are officially part-time, but it's almost like a full-time job. As I like to say, my part-time job of 70 hours a week gets in the way of my full-time job. And so during the summer, I do like to hang out with my community. And many of the legislation that I do actually starts in the summer. I am blessed that I probably spend 3 days a week listening to my constituents. So on Mondays we are at Panera. Tuesdays we have our farmers market in the summer. And on Wednesday we're at Main Street in Ankeny. And then on Thursdays we're at Friedrichs in Urbandale. So I know that sounds funny, but that's 2 or 3 hours that I get to hear what everybody's concerns are. That doesn't sound like fun to a lot of people, but it is fun.
That's amazing. I love that. So now for my second question. What would you say is one of your favorite mottos or personal philosophies?
I stole this one from my wife. Everyone has a superpower. Once you find out what your superpower is, make sure that you use your superpowers for good.
I love that. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you. Yes, Spark? Oh, I just want to say thank you. See, this is the important thing is introducing yourself to your legislators. Yes?
I would like each selfie.
Oh, all right. Picture time, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Eddie. Back with bills to discuss, and then they have what's left for the first funnel, and then they go through those bills for the second funnel, and then once they pass the second funnel, then they have a reduction in the amount of bills there. So if we're not able to submit our bills before the first funnel, then that really can't impact the community because they don't have that much time to discuss these bills and get them passed through our legislative process. So the importance of maintaining the relationship and contact with our lawmakers is paramount. Now, I don't want to stand here all day and bore you. You're probably thinking, oh, Gretchen, keep it short, but I'm trying to just explain the importance about how important it is to make contact and reach out to your legislators, and I will discuss that a little bit later. So, as Representative Andrews already explained, he has meetings with his constituents about 3 times a week. So maybe the representatives in your areas may be willing to do a similar format. I encourage you to reach out to your representatives. I did a little bit of research, and there are some information where some legislators said that they would try to make it. Some of them are unable to do so, but you are able to reach out to them too. And just know that whatever your county is, the representative for your district, you can go ahead and reach out to your lawmaker. And if you're unsure of who that is, go ahead and reach out to me, and I'll help you figure out who your representative is in your district. Gretchen is more than happy to help you as well. So we collectively are here to help one another to make that introduction and communication with our lawmakers. So I would like to pass it off to Talina next. Talina is going to... Talina. So Talina will go ahead and, I will let you expand on what you were here to talk about. Okay, go ahead. Take it away, Talina.
Yes, hello, good morning everyone. It's so good to see all of you here today. And Barb just asked me to talk a little bit about the Iowa Commission for Deaf Services. And before it was called DSCI, Deaf Services Commission of Iowa, and that has changed to Iowa Commission on Deaf Services. So we really have the same goals and mission, but it's just a little bit different now. We wanted to switch up how the name was put out there. So far, the meetings for our Iowa Commission on Deaf Services, we haven't really had any meetings so far, so there's no updates currently, so we're just letting you know that. Someday we're going to have a meeting soon, and I'm looking forward to that when we're going to have our first meeting. And we're also being merged with Dual Party, so that's being merged as well. So the first meeting will be coming soon, and we will update you on what we discuss in those meetings. So that was short, but on that, DSCI previously, that was maybe 20 years ago. They had like 10 staff people, they had interpreting services, they had a lot of resources, a library where you could borrow books and equipment. They had a lot of different resources available. And, Catherine Baumann-Reese, she passed away, and it seems like people were pretty resistant after she left. So since then, the services have been reduced and reduced again until they're basically non-existent. They're no longer there. So 2 years ago, legislation passed a bill related to the entire deaf community in the state, that the commission and board related to various things, various different services and resources would be in one group, and that would be under the Department of Human Rights. This would be with people with disabilities, indigenous folks, and IPI and Pacific Islanders, all underneath that umbrella. Black, BIPOC, all of those different populations. So the total of those populations is 7. And the bill that was presented really, it said we should eliminate some things. The deaf community showed up and said, no, DSCI needs to stay. We need to keep DSCI. It's very important to us. And we really, as a group, it's a little ironic, we were the loudest. We were the loudest there, and when they finished and passed the bill and became law, it was left as one. DSCI has now become Iowa Commission of Deaf Services. But it was like pulling teeth. So that means the power of any of that work and what's going to happen with that, we're really not sure. Talina and I have not been given an explanation, right, since May, of last year. So that was the last time it was discussed. So that bill became law last July, and she mentioned that dual party relay and the Iowa Commission of Deaf Services have become one. They are in one now, and they're overseen by HHS, Health and Human Rights and Services. But who is actually the person that has been changed 4 times since July 1st? Who's in charge? Who's the contact? Who is going to be in charge of that whole thing? So, Amber Tucker and I from ISRID, we have been persistent in trying to contact people and get information. And finally, they set up a meeting, and then it was canceled last minute. And we've tried to set up another meeting 4 times, and it's been canceled last minute each time. So they're clearly not ready, not prepared. So that is, they're behind the scenes, what's been going on, and pretty far behind the scenes because not a lot has been happening. So we really don't have any information on what will be happening. The state has not been communicating with us. So that's, dual DPR, dual party relay. I keep messing up forgetting what the word is, but some deaf people and some hearing people are on it. We get together to discuss and have meetings about TAI, Telecommunications Access Iowa. It provides devices for people all over the state of Iowa who have a hearing loss. DPR, I keep messing that up. Where that has been kind of closed, and that has now been merged with this Council on Deaf Services. So TAI is still established. We still have that, so that is good news, and we're able to get devices for communication needs, and that is excellent. But we're not sure what's happening with the merged groups. Okay, are any senators or legislators in the room right now? If you could please raise your hand or give us a little. And now I want to welcome Ann Michelle Peterson. She is family advocate, family support.
Is that better? That's right. Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Anna Michelle Peterson, family support mentoring coordinator for Iowa School for Deaf. And this is the Lead K program, which is a big spread of the bill that was just passed 2 years ago. So we are offering this as a program for all families for between children. There we go. ISD has a variety of resources offered to families. We offer family resources, language resources, American Sign Language classes, and a variety of assessments. If you want to learn more about the Family Support Mentoring Program, please stop by my booth, which is over there for Iowa School for the Deaf.
It's a person for deaf blind.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today, coming here to gather for our Deaf Day at the Capitol, our special celebration here. I am hopeful that we are able to have a lasting impression on our lawmakers about our various organizations here in Iowa. My name is Carol Manning. I am the Deaf Blind Specialist. I am currently working at the Iowa Department for the Blind as their Deaf Blind Specialist. Iowa Department of the Blind, we do have a Deaf Blind Services. Now, very recently, just in the first week of April, we celebrated our centennial anniversary, our 100 years of being here in the state of Iowa. So our centennial anniversary, we had a statewide welcoming for our open house. We had a really good turnout. We had quite a bit Department for the Blind. Iowa Department of the Blind is shortened known as IDB, so henceforth I will refer to IDB. IDD is truly an exceptional place. We are working with blind individuals, deaf-blind individuals throughout the state of Iowa. So our mission at Iowa Department for the Blind is to emphasize and empower deaf or blind individuals to achieve independence and employment, and to be able to take advantage of their opportunities and be gainfully employed. Our vision statement is to be the world's leader in blind rehabilitation services. We have an orientation training center for those who are deaf-blind or blind. Clients are able to participate in and gain that preparedness and readiness for employment. We value our Iowa Deaf-Blind Caucus and our state of living. Our staff at IDD values in making a positive difference in each and every individual's lives. We incorporate deaf-blind services uniquely tailored to their needs. We work in partnership with the Helen Keller National Center. Frequently we refer individuals to go to the Helen Keller National Center, able to help bolster their life and living goals. Our culture focuses on client-centric approaches and empowers clients to achieve success. Deaf-blind individuals have their own culture, just as deaf people have their own culture, but it is different in what makes their culture unique. And I have truly been amazed and blown away by all the things I've learned. So I'll give you an example. So Carol, my sign name is Carol within the deaf community in sign language. This is my sign name. But for a deaf-blind individual, that is not the sign name that is used. So we identify somebody basically based on maybe the earrings that they wear, the accessories that they have on, the glasses that they wear, the bracelets or their watch. So it's something that they're able to tactily feel. So I would encourage you to please stop over at my booth. I'm located over here. Please feel free to ask me any questions or anything. Carlin Crow, excuse the interpreter, Carlin Crow, and she is hearing. She is the policy manager. Please welcome Carlin.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me here today. My name is Carlin Crow, and I'm with the Iowa Developmental Disabilities Council. And if you're not familiar with, we call them DD councils. It's under federal law that every state has to have a DD council and has to fund their DD council, which, as you can imagine, right now is we're a little bit worried about our situation in funding. But the purpose of DD councils is to be advocates for people with disabilities, so that if you do not have a voice in the capital, in your community, in your place of residence, then we are there to help you have that voice. And one of the big programs that we provide is helping train advocates to have your voice in public policy. And that includes coming to the Capitol, talking to your legislators, talking to your legislators or your local officials back home about issues that are important to you and that might be changed for the better through changing public policy. I appreciate Gretchen going through the technicalities of how the legislature works. We do that also. We provide trainings for organizations like yours, any organization that wants to work on disability policy, or just you don't even have to work on policy, but having your voice heard in your your concerns expressed to your legislators or people in positions of making policy, and that may include state agencies or local agencies. So I brought some materials today that I'm glad for you to take home with you. We actually just finished have a guide to the legislature, which is a very popular document that we had to put off publishing for several months because there's been several special elections that have come up, and now there's another one, and so we didn't get that in here, so it's not going to be completely accurate, but we tried. Usually we have it done in February, and it's already April. But this goes through and talks about what the legislative process is, but also gives a little profile of every legislator, what they do in their when their time away from the legislature, like Representative Andrews, and what his job would be, what his interests are. So you get to know them a little bit more personally. There's contact information for everyone, as well as your members of Congress. So even though we're here today to talk about state policy and what you can do here in Iowa, remember to contact your members of Congress too, and we have some help for you that way too. So I would encourage, this is also online if you don't want to take a heavy magazine with you, encourage you to use that as a resource. And also we have materials about advocacy, how to, after today, if you get to talk to your legislators, what do you do when you go home? It shouldn't end today. Make sure you're keeping in contact with them, as well as being in front of them as much as you can. Go to local forums, follow them on Facebook, social media, any way that you can be visible and be a voice for your community too. And then they come and look to you when they have concerns about how certain policies may affect your community and or people with disabilities. And that's our job to try and be that resource. So we help with how to navigate that, as well as what your message might be. So this is one of the things we go through in training, which is we've started adopting something that helps help you remember what to talk about by using your hand. And this is something that you are all very good at already. But it's mostly how to remember what to talk about. Who you are, and that you're a constituent, what's important to you, why you're here to talk about them, why a particular issue is not only important to you, but important to Iowa. So when you can expand you tell your own story, but when you can expand that to here's how this issue affects the whole state, it tends to have a little more relatability. And then we always say, remember to, and this is the pinky part, kind of the pinky swear, or pinky promise, make your ask. What are you asking for? If we're talking about a concern, we should also suggest a solution and then ask for something. And maybe that's just to look into it. But if you have a particular bill that you want them to draft, or a particular policy, or a dollar figure, that's your ask. And it's important to do that, otherwise there's might just say, oh, that's great, talk to you next year. And this is a way to kind of keep the relationship going, just to make that ask and then follow up. So those are the kind of things we work on. I'd be glad to share information. Please pick up a stress ball, because sometimes it's stressful around here. And share any information with you also. So thank you for having me today, and I really appreciate connecting with your organization and your community, and I wish
Carlin was a tremendous help for me last year. My first experience in legislative session as the Iowa Association of the Deaf Legislative Liaison. Thank you so much for your collaboration and partnership. You helped me out tremendously. Amber and myself just continuously asked you a stream of questions, seemingly, to me, ignorant questions, but you never made me feel numb for any questions that I asked. So I wanted to say thank you so much for all of your help and support while we were navigating this legislative session. Now you wanted to talk about the training, didn't you, Barb? Yes. Just for everyone's awareness, the Developmental Disability Council will be happy to provide legislative training on Zoom. So I'm just curious, a show of hands, who might be interested in that? Raise your hand if you may be interested. See a couple. So this is my concern here. How are we able to fight for the rights of our deaf individuals here? We need to be able to be active, reach out to our local representatives, and I admit I'm candid. I'm nervous about speaking to your representatives. I have some anxiety. I don't know what I'm going to say when I approach those individuals, and I'm sure you feel that same way, but you have to kind of figure out how you're able to express yourself, the concerns that you feel, and the things that you feel are important to our community. We've got to show that bravery and confidence to stand up and say that we are not done with the work that we need to make happen here. We are part of the disability community, and we need to make sure that we stand up for our rights. So I would consider you to join the legislative training that the Iowa Developmental Disability Council will provide on Zoom. There will be sign language interpreters that can be provided upon request. So again, now after my spiel, show of hands, how many may be interested in joining that training? Couple? Okay, now I'm curious. Personal question here. You don't have to answer this, but just think to yourself, why not? Why wouldn't you be involved? Oh, because of your job. Gotcha. Okay. I see 2 people raise their hand, but why didn't I see more? Scott, why not? Oh, just feeling awkward, huh? How about you? Okay. Talk with the legislators, and they may not be voting in favor of that. They need to vote. Yeah, that's right. So that the legislators can see what is important to our community, we need to make sure that we make our opinions known. So I don't want to belabor this issue, but I do just want to make known that us as a deaf community, we have to make contact and make ourselves known and visible to our legislators. We cannot do this alone. We need a community to show up for one another. I know 10 people, like one person may be equivalent to 10 people. So if one person makes a complaint about something or make an issue about something, then it's guaranteed that that has a ripple effect and there's more people that feel that same way. So come on, deaf community, we really need to make sure that we...
Well, good morning, everybody. I was not expecting to speak. I was just standing here in support and then got asked to say a few words. So I just want to say welcome. My name is Representative Heather Mattson. I represent about half of Ankeny in the Iowa House District 42. And it's my understanding, I noticed on social media earlier today that it is National ASL Day. So happy National ASL Day to all who celebrate, including myself. So just a random fun fact, my younger sister has been a teacher her career, and she also is fluent in ASL, and so I've spent a lot of time around her just admiring the work that she does and also her commitment to making sure that no matter where you're coming from, no matter your experiences, you are heard. And so I just wanted to share that, just a little experience there. I have the distinct honor of serving as the ranking member of the House Education Committee, and I also serve on Health and Human Services. So that's just a little bit about me. But I actually want to reference someone just a little while ago asked about legislative advocacy and the trainings that are being offered, and asked for a show of hands about who was interested in participating in that. And I was heartened to see a few hands go up, but it is my hope that we'll see everybody's hands go up. Because the power you have, yes, thank you, the power you have as Iowans to reach out and have meaningful conversations with the people who represent you is your strength. We have a government of, by, and for the people. I know it may not always feel like that sometimes, but if we believe that to be true, then we have to take our own power and use it. And just by being here in this gorgeous rotunda today, you are taking some of that power and using it. And so I'm actually going to encourage everybody to take advantage of legislative trainings, because, oh, believe me, I know it can feel, if you haven't talked to a legislator before, it can feel like, oh my God, what should I say? This place is so fancy, oh, they must be so powerful, blah, 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 blah. I will tell you that yes, we work in a fancy building, but we are not fancy people, right? We are just we are just people, right? We just have the great fortune of working in this building and representing you. I joke around with people all the time that if you live in Ankeny, you're most likely to see me in Hy-Vee any given day because I'm terrible at meal planning, and so